Welcome back, everybody, to another reaction. This one is going to be a friggin' doozy. It's me, Judge BizKit. Hi, nice to see you. Today, we're going to be reacting to the fourth and final quarterfinal of the Grand Beatbox Battle Loopstation Edition. It's our good friends, Raje from India versus Duncan from China. This was without a doubt my most anticipated quarterfinal. I know both of these guys. I know what they can do, and I know that a lot of people in the world didn't know what they were about. Duncan has been killing it for a long time, so has Raje, and they've both developed their own sort of styles and revolutionized Mark II via the launch pad and via cable routing and all this crazy stuff that has never been seen on a stage quite like GBB before. So I knew that things were gonna explode and people were gonna be absolutely blown away by what these two guys had in store. And let's just say they did not disappoint, not even a little bit. This battle was, for me, one of the closest ones. This was the one that I felt really bad having to actually choose a winner from, because I loved both of these guys and what they brought to the table for a variety of reasons. This battle is going to go down in the history books for sure as one of the best Loopstation battles of all time, maybe. Who knows? I'm so excited to rewatch this. Let's just jump right into the reaction. Wait! Did you listen to my new EP? It's called Still Hungry, and it dropped a few days ago, and it has 3 absolute banger tracks, probably my best tracks ever? I don't know. If you support GBB and you support these reaction videos, make sure you're supporting the artist actually behind the reaction videos. I am a reactor second and an artist first. So if you want me to keep making music, keep running up the music. Love you. Thank you. Hope you understand. Now, enjoy the video. Okay, there's a lot to go over in this battle. This battle had a lot of ups and downs and strange and funny events, and a lot of unexpected moments and crazy hype moments as well. So if I missed something, please forgive me, but I'm going to try my best to capture everything that I was feeling in the moment, everything I noticed in the moment, everything I noticed now, maybe if my opinion has changed, and as well as this guy in the corner, you're going to be seeing some really fun reactions from him. So let's get on with it then, shall we?
Are you ready?
I'm not ready.
And I wasn't. It's true.
That's that energy. Make one noise, making sure that we get a good job.
I already knew this battle was going to be sick. Absolutely disgusting.
He's ready to go. All right.
I ranked Raje very highly in the wild cards. So, and he just barely squeezed in. So, I was super excited to hear him on stage personally. And show the talent that he has to the...
We're good to go. Let's get this thing going. We have ourselves the last battle of the top.
That was a little
Grand Beatbox
ridiculous
Battle 2024
and
live
funny.
in Tokyo, Japan.
Bro just wouldn't stop feedbacking.
We have Duncan versus Raje. Duncan was highly ranked.
I was like, the bullshit is already ensuing. The shenanigans are already happening in full force. I have no idea what's going to happen, but I know it's going to be insane. I've seen Raje perform once live already at the Hot 10 World Championships, and he already sounded amazing there. 3 months later, I knew he had a lot of stuff to improve, and he's coming right out the gate swinging with chords that he pulled out of thin air. Drums are ready to go. Whole track is ready to go, supposedly. Listen to these voicings. Really smart harmonies. And this is where I knew that we were in trouble when I heard this build up. Oh my god. This wasn't even like fun. I was just in horror. I was in shock of what Loopstation has become. But I couldn't help but love it. It's a freaking banger. Like, are you kidding me? I was just trying to process everything, and It was really hard. I needed to lock back in. This part took a little second to lock in the crowd work. I don't know how I would improve that, but it worked out eventually. I'm putting on headphones here because the snare wasn't coming through the strongest and kind of just sounded like a high pitch. This part, there's so much going on melodically, and it's a very different feeling from the first drop. A welcome and impressive one, regardless, but kind of took me out of the round a little bit. Still top tier looping. Look at my boy. He's dancing. And there was some feedback here live. You don't hear it during the video because they muted it, but Duncan's line was on, and there was a loud subnote, so there was a little bit of confusion in the venue at the time. What an ending. He had me going crazy at the beginning.
What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that?
Great question.
Raje just smashed the stage on his first time at GBB. Give it up for Raje right there.
Yeah, man. Let's talk about it, okay? So obviously, this was like the strongest opening to a battle I have seen in a really long time. He just didn't pull any punches, and he just went, here's everything that I know how to do, wrapped up in one 3-minute, 40-second round. The build-up and the pacing was so quick. At the beginning, we just jumped straight into like the nastiest bass house drop that I've ever heard done on a loop station. Not only was it nasty, but it was accurate. Something about Rage's ability to like take a genre and really stay true to the foundations and the core mechanics of like how that genre is supposed to sound is something I've admired of him since his GBB wildcard, and maybe even a little bit earlier. I was just so impressed with his ability to come up with something this complex, musically dense, and true to the style that he was embodying. Also, a note I had for Raje 3 months prior to Hot 10 was, if you're going to do all this hands-free loop station stuff with the launch pad and the cables and it's just going to make itself for you, I have no problem with that. But you need to entertain me. And he did a great job of that in this round, going up to the front of the stage, showing off some little moves. It was fun, it was chill, and he wasn't shy up there. He was performing, he was having the time of his life, as well as making the craziest thing I've ever heard up to this point. So props to you, Raje. You really leveled up since the last time that I got to judge you, and thank you for taking my notes and my criticism. It paid off super well. You look great up there, man, and you sound great too. However, you didn't sound great all the time. The second drop, there were so many elements going on that it was kind of hard to follow in the mix, and some things like the snare got a little drowned out when it came to all the bass lines and the chord stabs and all these crazy details that make the track, but live must be really hard to micromanage. However, if you want to hear every single element in its entirety that is processed and makes sense to the overall mix, make sure you check out Rage's Human Error EP, which is out everywhere now. Seriously, run this kid up, bro. He's him right now. He's like the guy. I also want to make it clear that just because I'm a solo device kind of guy in the way that I prefer to create, does not mean I have any kind of bias towards cable routing or launchpad usage, even though my song Easy might say otherwise. However you choose to make your music is fine with me, as long as it's well done and it's accurate and it doesn't hinder your performance in any way. The rules are the rules. And if launch pads and cables are allowed, then and you can do it, then by all means go for it. I've beaten people with twice the size of my setup in the past. So anything can happen, man. It's free game. You know, no matter what you use doesn't determine whether or not you'll win. But yeah, this was such a strong start. And I knew that we were in for like a lifetime battle right here. But I know Duncan and Rage are friends. They share a lot of the same techniques, and they're of a similar caliber when it comes to this looping launchpad stuff. So I wasn't going to count him out just yet after such a banger round. And, you know, the little things, it wasn't perfect by any means. So there was still room for Duncan to match his energy or even surpass it. So let's see how he takes that.
Oh, he's ready. Duncan, it's on you.
Yes,
I
he
say
is.
the sound, you say the yeah, and you get some.
Rage, I know you don't like pressing buttons, so I'm making these 2 rounds just for you.
This setup, I was like, what is happening? I was very intrigued and confused. I was like, what the hell is happening this whole time? I've never felt this giddy for like Loopstation before, where I have literally no idea what's gonna happen, but I'm already vibing with this drum beat. The drums are so clean, by the way. I think Duncan had my favorite drum mix in the competition. A little behind the scenes of what's actually happening.
You know we gotta move.
He's just going, ah.
Dancing to the groove.
Also, this is what I wish Rage would do more of. Duncan is a
You know we're cutting loose.
great performer. He's really embodying this track and his movement right now. And as a dancer, I can appreciate that.
This high is never coming down. Move your feet to the funk. Dance to the rhythm as you run. Do the things that cannot be undone.
This drop live, similar to Rage's second drop, there were so many details happening that they all kind of got lost within each other. So I'm putting on the headphones to kind of see if I can hear them better. But yeah, there's a lot happening. And it's not all registering live. But the ideas are really cool.
I'ma throw it down even though I'm frozen. I've been earning my phone. This the underdog, ain't no joke. I'm a big rage quit. Mighty Mo, Rage's music has no soul. At least
I respect what he was going for here. But again, like Rage's first round, it didn't feel like, it felt like part of a different track. And also just kind of out of the theme of what was already happening with this funky thing. And it's like, oh, now I'm going to diss you? I don't know. Felt a little random at the time. And then he forgot his lyrics, which didn't help. But then Megalovania started playing, and I was back in. And I love that. The way he delivered that, super fun. This is where he started to save it. He didn't let those mistakes phase him, and he just powered through. And he delivered in his performance. A little bit of feedback there. Wow.
Time.
Dead even for me right now. Maybe a little in Rod's favor. Just a little.
Okay, so Duncan and Rage. these two are the future. I mean, I just couldn't like wrap my head around what I was hearing, really. Two people bringing this like revolutionary sound that is so uniquely them as well, to the GBB stage, and really like show you what looping is capable of. Also, Duncan's energy, oh my goodness. He was probably my favorite to watch perform, I think. He had this energy that was so funny and charming and endearing and wholesome that I couldn't help but smile just watching him on stage, like living his best life. So when he came in with this funky like disco feeling thing, I was all on board because he was true to himself, and again, like Rage, he was very true to the genre he was doing. I think this song is a cover, but his own embellishments and his the way he remixes it is still really impressive. I'm not the most opposed to using covers or inspiration in Loopstation. I know a lot of people have a problem with that. You know, beatboxing is an element of hip-hop, and a big part of hip-hop, especially the production side of it, is sampling and taking inspiration from things that already exist, flipping them, remixing them, and making them your own. So taking that Megalovania sample and then flipping it into this like nasty like garage beat with like this ring mod thing, and going live, that was all really fun. That was all really creative. Do I care that he used a reference to a melody that already exists? Not really, because the way he flipped it on its head is really smart, and it's just another way to connect with the crowd, to use something that people already know. It's about the performance at the end of the day. It's about the crowd, and it's not like Duncan isn't doing unique things that are his own, you know? So in my brain, it felt really close. The details being a little lost. Rage had that same issue. Duncan was a lot more entertaining to watch, while Rage was a lot more fun to listen to and interesting to listen to. But Duncan still had his moments of like switch ups and plot twists and unexpected turns. But yeah, forgetting those lyrics was really Duncan's downfall. And the inclusion of the lyrics at all, where they didn't really fit in the overall track. I understand he wanted to battle, but sometimes the best way to battle is to not even acknowledge it and just let the music speak for yourself. So yeah, it's pretty close in my brain, but anything can happen. Seriously, with these guys, really anything can happen. So let's move on to both of their second rounds. I'm glad Swiss Beatbox included this in the final edit for transparency. I'm going to include the full length of what happened here, just so you guys know.
Can you explain what should have happened? Because it's hard to deal with it.
Mike.
You know, Launchpad, MK2, sometimes you get the wrong preset on for the tracks. Yeah,
So
that's what happened.
you forgot to load the preset?
This felt like a kid who was in trouble
I have the presets,
and had to explain
but
what he
it
did
was the
wrong.
wrong preset on. I put it on, but
I think the best decision here to restart your round, but the judges should know that this is a human error.
yes, that's fine by me.
Is that
Fine by me.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you, Christoph.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, yeah, Christoph, yeah.
That's my rep.
So once again, to recap what happened, Rage was going to start his round, but he was on the wrong like memory, essentially. For those of you who use loop stations, you have your different routines on different memories. He was on the right memory for his loop station, but not the right memory for his launchpad. So things were not syncing up. And the right thing to do would have been to switch the launchpad memory essentially to the right one. But I understand there's a lot of pressure happening and a lot that could go wrong on the GBB stage. So he just kind of like gave up and asked for a reset entirely. Now, how did I factor this into my judging? Me personally? This sort of thing can happen to anyone, and I've seen restarts over way less. I've seen round restarts over people pretending like they just messed up and then they blamed it on the Mark II having a bug or something, when that was just not in fact true. So for something as simple as, you know, just like, oops, I was on the wrong memory, my bad, especially at the beginning of the round where, you know, like that could happen to me. I'm not above a mistake. So I just put myself in Rage's shoes, and I was like, you know what? I didn't even hear anything from the round, really. He was still in the setup stage. Like, a lot of it was silent. So I didn't factor this too much into, like, docking points from him, necessarily. Should he have restarted? Probably not. But if he got the opportunity, then that's okay. It was just a little mental thing to keep in the back of my head. But ultimately, it didn't mean the world to me. It wasn't going to be oh, he's disqualified now. So with all that being said, let's see how he bounces back from this little human error, streaming on all platforms. Okay. Little sidetrack. Frosty and I backstage, we'd been hanging out this whole weekend. That's my boy right there. We were doing riddles backstage, and he would just like show me these riddles. And now I'm going to share one with you. So guys, I'm going to go through the green glass door, right? The green glass door. Me personally, I'm going to bring goggles through the green glass door. I'm going to bring apples through the green glass door. And I'm going to bring scissors through the green glass door. Drop in the comments what you're going to bring through the green glass door. That would just make my whole day, personally. I want to know. Anyway, on with the reaction.
You guys are ready for this round? Make some energy, get that energy up, get that energy up.
Thank you, Scott, for being such a great host and saving the hype from an otherwise very awkward and unprecedented moment. I'm just worried everything's gonna go right this time. I'm hoping for him. I want to see him succeed. I don't want anybody to fail. I want everyone to have their best performance on the stage.
From the silence, making my way through all the violence. I'm leaving the past. You see me, then you see me, now I'm growing too fast. I've been rising from the silence.
This is intriguing.
Making my way through all the violence. I'm leaving the past. You see me, then you see me, now I'm growing. Oh, you wanna battle? Come on, let's
that transition was a little wild. Like a little too wild. And these lyrics were hard to hear, and now that I can hear them a little more clearly, I'm like, okay. Oh my god. I'm not reacting very hard in the judge cam, but if you're wearing headphones and you listen to this on his EP, the details are astounding. But live, it was just kind of loud. Still super high level. So many moving parts, always. But yeah, the details weren't coming through the best, so this drop didn't hit me the hardest, personally. Now this switch up is like, this is that energy that I like. That hip-hop halftime kind of groove. So he brought me back in. have no idea what I'm about to hear. And it definitely wasn't hardstyle. Didn't expect that, I will say. Gang, gang, gang. Look at Rage with the choreography. You go. You go, man. That's insane. I loved that transition into this hip hop. Now you got Rage bouncing around like a little Oompa Loompa. Wow.
And that's time.
Great round.
Explaining, so he couldn't have finished this round because he made a mistake or wrong presets. Yeah. We let him play his music, but this is a big mistake because if we wouldn't let him restart, then it's a problem.
It's on you.
Big shout out to Christoph for breaking it down for us. I think Christoph really valued that mistake a lot more than the judges did. I remember he was feeling a little like guilty about having made that decision, but that's a really hard call to make. So big W for Christoph. Now this round, I had some mixed feelings about live. I could understand that the looping capability was super high, but it was the track itself that wasn't really vibing with me. It felt like a lot of ideas, even more so than his first round. It felt like a lot of ideas kind of jumbled into one big thing. You had the melodic start, you had this build up that was really intense. And like he's rapping now. And then you have a cyberpunk mid-tempo drop, which kind of felt out of place, but you know, if it hits, it hits. Then you have a switch into a halftime drop, like hip hop kind of flow with this behemoth line that I think is pretty cool. This is probably my favorite section of the track. And then that transitions into hardstyle. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then that transitions back into the halftime thing. So in my judge brain, I'm like, bro, make up your mind. It just felt like too much was happening. It felt like he wanted to kind of cram everything that he could in and all of his techniques, but at the expense of a cohesive track. That's just my opinion. On further re-listens, especially in the context of his album, and where all the details can really shine a lot better, I like this track a little bit more than I did live, but I remember being like, okay, this was really high level as looping showcase goes, but there's something about the track that didn't resonate with me personally. This coupled with the restart, it still is like even in my eyes, I think. Duncan can steal this if he does everything right and he plays everything perfectly. So let's see what happens now.
I say the some, you say the he and the yet. In some.
Okay. I'm going to talk about this this build up now. This setup was way too long. I know he's built for, if he's going to build it all in silence like this, I don't know. It has to be entertaining. It has to correlate to the audience. He's taken about a fifth of his time now to just setting up the track in silence. I liked it better in his first round when he did this because it was still intriguing and got to the point faster. But now the track is done. We just had to sit around like twiddling our thumbs a little bit. This was smart. Again, it's a cover, but you're in Japan, and if you're gonna play anything, you might as well play something that the Japanese crowd are familiar with. And this also isn't out of character for Duncan. Like, this kind of wholesome vibe, dare I say kawaii even, it's very in line for him. Singing is a little shaky, but I'm having such a good time listening. It is dragging on a little long at this point, but it's really impressive the way the melody moves with his voice, the way he programmed that. The chord changes, the bass line changes, all of it. Really impressive stuff.
GBB, how we feeling?
Bro was screaming. This was so fun. Another sample, coffin dance. It sounded so sick, my camera fell over. This made me happy. A little jersey switch, so cool. So unique. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's looping like this, bro. Really good use of the speed up feature in the Mark II. Look at the aura of this man. I made that face because I've never heard a hardstyle kick replicated that accurately on Loopstation. I don't even like hardstyle like that, really. But I can't believe that he did that. There I go, throwing up an OT. I don't want anyone to lose. I don't want anyone to lose. Oh my goodness. Look at these guys. At the end of the day, beatboxers are just nerds doing what they love for thousands of people. And if that isn't the coolest thing ever, I don't know what is, man. Beatboxing is so sick.
So I take it you like the battle.
I loved that battle. So high level.
Unfortunately, only one can move on to the competition.
When
Judges,
Scott
we go
said
to
that,
you.
my heart
Now that
sank.
You've had a second to think about it. It is going to be
I hadn't really
blue
made my
for
decision
Duncan.
until
it is going to
I
be
raised it up.
Red for Rage.
It was really hard
Red
for me.
Rage.
Really
Blue
hard
for
for me.
Duncan. Crowd, help me out. I say the 3, y'all say the 2 and the 1. To the judges in 3.
Look at my face.
Make some noise moving on. It's Rage.
Big up for Rage, though.
I don't feel good about that. I wanted them both to win. That was incredible. That was one of the best loop battles that's ever happened. Period.
True, Judge BizKit.
Congratulations, Rage, moving on to the next round. But Duncan.
Yeah, bro. This will not be the last you see of him. Guaranteed.
Duncan.
Big up to the boy. Such a sweet guy.
These are the best of the best. That's crazy. I think it really came down to the few little errors in presentation for Duncan in the first round. Raj had a technical error, but he was able to restart, and it didn't really affect the performance. So, honestly, fair play to both of them. Legendary battle.
Legendary battle indeed, Judge BizKit. You were right about that. Guys, this was my favorite quarterfinal. Josh O had my favorite round in the last battle that we watched together, but this battle right here was... it just had everything I could have ever wanted. You had the wholesome, lighthearted fun of Duncan, and like the joy of looping and being able to make literally whatever you want. And then you had Rage, like this force of destruction and terror that it was a style clash, even though their styles are kind of similar in how they present their material. Their material itself could not be further away from each other. Both of these guys can cover the styles that they do incredibly well. Again, Duncan had the most accurate hardstyle kick I've ever heard. Rage's complextro, electro swing, bass house it sounded like a produced track. Both of these guys sound like produced tracks. And that brings us to the argument of, whether or not Launchpad should be legal in GBB. As far as I know, it might be getting banned for the next GBB, which personally I don't love. I think putting restrictions on what the loop station is capable of kind of defeats the purpose of evolving the scene in a way. But it's a battle at the end of the day. You can have the most complex setup in the world, but if you're making shit music, then you're gonna lose. That's just the end of the story. By the way, for people like, oh, it's so easy, setting this up and having the brain power to organize all of these presets is not easy in the slightest. This is like some of the hardest fundamental understanding of looping and the machine itself. It's still possible for people with this setup to lose, don't get it twisted. The music is the priority at the end of the day. Now, whether or not they're performing well while they take this route is another story. But I think both of these guys killed it in their performance. A lot of fun to watch and listen to. I think that's gonna do it for this reaction, guys. Once again, please support the original artists. Duncan has these 2 rounds that he performed against Rage out on his YouTube. Rage has all the rounds that he did for this GBB out on all streaming platforms. Please go support them. Obviously, support the original by Swiss Beatbox. If you want to support me, I know you guys love these reaction videos, but I poured my heart and soul into this EP that I just released recently. It would mean a lot if you guys would check it out, if you would stream it. Please take care of yourselves. Please be kind. Please be respectful in the comments section. This beatbox community can be so at times, but yeah, just remember that we're all nerds and we all love this really unique and niche thing. So there's no reason to turn on each other or fight or anything like that. It's all love at the end of the day. It is a competition, but it comes from a place of love and a place of respect for the art form. So remember that first and foremost. I've been Judge BizKit, and I'll see you in the next reaction video. Goodbye!